Imagine you're walking down a busy street, minding your own business. Suddenly, you hear a shout or see someone stumble and fall. Your first instinct might be to help, right? But then you look around. There are other people there, many other people. And for a moment, you hesitate. You wonder, should I step in or will someone else? That moment of hesitation, that silent question, is at the heart of one of the most intriguing and often misunderstood phenomena in psychology, the bystander effect. It's a concept that has shaped our understanding of human behavior in emergencies, but perhaps more importantly, it's a concept that survivors of these situations wish we understood with far more nuance than we often do. Welcome. Today, we're going to explore the bystander effect not as a simple indictment of human apathy, but as a complex interplay of psychological forces. We'll uncover its origins, challenge some long-held myths, and most crucially, understand what it feels like from the perspective of someone who needed help but didn't get it. Our goal isn't to judge, but to empower ourselves with knowledge so we can all be better prepared to act when it matters most. At its core, the bystander effect describes a social psychological phenomenon where individuals are less likely to offer help to a victim when other people are present. Think of it like a shared burden, but instead of everyone picking it up, everyone assumes someone else will. The more people there are, the more the sense of personal responsibility seems to dissipate or diffuse across the group. Imagine a single light bulb trying to illuminate a large room. It has a big job. Now add 50 more light bulbs. Each individual bulb now feels less solely responsible for lighting the room. That's a bit like diffusion of responsibility. When there are many potential helpers, the weight of needing to act feels less pressing on any single person. Everyone thinks, surely someone else will step up. Then there's social influence, often intertwined with something called pluralistic ignorance. We're social creatures, and we look to others for cues on how to behave. If you see someone in distress, but everyone else around them appears calm or simply uninterested, you might start to second-guess yourself. You might think, well, if no one else is reacting, maybe it's not a real emergency. Maybe I'm overreacting. This can lead to collective inaction, even if privately everyone is a little concerned. We're all looking at each other, misinterpreting each other's inaction as a sign that nothing needs to be done. And let's not forget evaluation apprehension. This is the fear of looking foolish, of making a mistake, or even of facing legal repercussions if we try to help and things go wrong. It's a very human concern. No one wants to be the person who intervenes only to find out it was a misunderstanding, or worse, to inadvertently make the situation worse. This fear can freeze us, making us hesitate just long enough for the moment to pass. These factors are all part of a larger framework developed by pioneers in this field, Latané and Darley, called the 5-step decision model of helping. To intervene, a bystander must first notice the event. Second, interpret it as an emergency. Third, assume personal responsibility. Fourth, know what kind of assistance is needed. And finally, decide to act. A breakdown at any one of these steps can lead to an action. But not everyone remains a bystander. The opposite of a bystander is an upstander, someone who actively addresses a problem, taking a stand against injustice or potential harm. Understanding the bystander effect isn't about shaming those who don't act, but about equipping us all with the tools to become upstanders. The journey to understanding the bystander effect really began in 1964 with a tragic event that captured the world's attention, the murder of Kitty Genovese in New York City. The initial reports, sensationalized by the New York Times, claimed that 37 or 38 witnesses heard or saw parts of the attack over an extended period, yet did nothing. This shocking narrative ignited a firestorm of public outrage and became the classic textbook example of bystander apathy for decades. It was this narrative that spurred social psychologists Latané and Darley to conduct their groundbreaking research, experiments that consistently demonstrated the diffusion of responsibility. Their work was vital, profoundly shaping our understanding of social psychology. However, and this is a crucial point that survivors wish more people understood, the widely reported details of the Kitty Genovese case have since undergone substantial reevaluation. Researchers like Rachel Manning and Mark Levine, along with their colleagues, meticulously re-examined the evidence. What they found challenged the sensationalized account. Many neighbors didn't fully realize the severity of what they were hearing or seeing. Some did call the police, and the number of actual, fully observant witnesses was far, far fewer than originally reported. The story, in its exaggerated form, had become an urban myth that may have inadvertently biased subsequent research and public perception. This reevaluation doesn't invalidate the psychological mechanisms of the bystander effect. Latané and Darley's work still holds tremendous value, but it does prompt us to question how foundational myths can shape scientific fields and public understanding. It reminds us that real-world situations are always more complex than laboratory experiments or simplified news stories. The accuracy of the Genovese narrative is one of the primary controversies that continues to make the bystander effect a relevant and actively debated topic. Another is the robustness of the effect in real-world settings. While lab experiments consistently show it, some more recent research, particularly of high-risk, unambiguous situations captured on security cameras, has found that the presence of more bystanders can sometimes increase the likelihood of intervention, especially when there's a shared social identity within the group. This challenges the simple idea that more people always equals less help and opens up new avenues for understanding. This naturally leads us to another ongoing debate, the moral versus legal obligation to help. Do individuals have a moral duty to intervene? And should this translate into a legal obligation? While many of us feel a strong moral imperative to help someone in distress, legally, that obligation often only exists where specific duty to rescue laws are in place, like in some European countries, or under certain Good Samaritan laws, which protect those who do help from legal liability. But perhaps the most profound point, and what survivors truly wish people understood, is that inaction is rarely simple bystander apathy. It's not usually about indifference or a lack of care. Instead, it's driven by those complex psychological factors we discussed: fear, uncertainty, shock, the fear of judgment, or not knowing what to do. From a survivor's perspective, it's vital to move beyond the simplistic notion of apathy and recognize the very human, very complex psychological forces at play. This shifting focus allows us to stop blaming and start understanding, creating a pathway to more effective interventions. So, how do we overcome these deeply ingrained psychological barriers? How do we move from being a bystander to becoming an upstander? Public interest often revolves around these questions, and research offers several clear, actionable strategies. First, and perhaps most effective, is the power of direct appeals for help. If you find yourself in an emergency, or if you're witnessing one, simply making eye contact and specifically addressing an individual, "You in the blue shirt, please call 911, can dramatically cut through the diffusion of responsibility. It singles someone out, giving them direct personal accountability. Continuing with concrete steps. Second, assigning specific tasks can be incredibly effective. Instead of a general call for help, clearly assign roles. You call 911. You, please help me comfort them and keep people back. This overcomes ambiguity and ensures that crucial actions are taken, rather than everyone waiting for someone else. Broader societal solution. Finally, and perhaps most powerfully, are educational programs. By promoting upstander behavior and fostering greater empathy and perspective-taking, we can equip individuals with the understanding and the confidence to act. When people understand why they might hesitate, they can proactively choose to overcome that hesitation. They learn that even small actions can make a huge difference. Bringing it all together, encouragingly, the ongoing re-examination of historical cases, the deeper understanding of psychological barriers, and the perspectives of survivors all underscore the continued importance of this field. It reminds us that human behavior in emergencies is not simple, and inaction is rarely a sign of a bad person, but often a product of powerful, unconscious psychological forces. By understanding these forces, by recognizing the power of diffusion of responsibility, pluralistic ignorance, and evaluation apprehension, we equip ourselves with the knowledge to actively counteract them. We can train ourselves to notice, to interpret, to take responsibility, and to act. We can learn to make direct appeals, assign specific tasks, and encourage others to do the same. So the next time you see someone in need, remember, it's not about being a hero, it's about being human. It's about consciously choosing to override those powerful psychological instincts and remembering that your single action, no matter how small, has the potential to make all the difference. Let's all strive to be upstanders.